everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing here some test hands for Crusadias. This must be pretty exciting, though it is going to be a bit different from most test hands. Given that this particular build favors going second, we will be going with turn 2 plays instead and focusing entirely on that. However, I will give a few considerations for going first, though I don't think it would necessarily turn out as well, given that there's not much to really sit upon. But before I get started, I would like to remind you guys to drop a like, share, comment, and consider subscribing if you still haven't. That way you could be notified of any future videos just like this. However, with that being said, let's begin. Alright, so here's an example, I guess, of what would happen if we were to go first. Obviously, you could see here that it's not much of a play. I mean, you could normal summon out the Crusadia Arborea and go from there. It's not particularly great. I mean, you do have the World Legacy World Crown. I mean, there is technically a play. I mean, look at this. If you summon out Arborea and you link that away, allowing you to go into your Magius first, over here. So what you could potentially do here is you could go with the crown, I guess, in this case, and special summon it to the zone that it points to. So when you do that, you could then add something from your deck. So in this case, may as well just go for Magius, right? Or Maximus, that is, sorry. I will keep this card in the top hidden, just because it's hypothetically something that we'll draw into as the 6th card, but I'm just going to show you guys what we could potentially do going first. So you could just potentially sit with this here, because technically the World Crown does have its own sort of, I guess, negate in some sort of way. If your opponent activates some sort of monster effect in the extra monster zone, or if one of the extra deck monsters activates it, then you can essentially just negate it and destroy it. So it's not bad, but obviously you could see that it leaves some vulnerabilities with the Magius out there as well. So not much of a play there. However, you could also set the Cyclone, so it's 1 and 2 disruptions. Not bad for going first, but not ideal either. So let's just go with this continued play here. So we take this and this, of course, and we continue to climb up. With the 6th card in consideration, of course, but we'll go into the Regilex next. So in this particular circumstance, what could you potentially go for? Not much, to be honest, because without a spare monster to bring out under Regilex, you can't really proceed any further with the Equimax anyway. But to be honest, it's not like you're going to be going for the Equimax in this particular case, because you are going first in this circumstance, right? So you would want to be linking into something that might be more appropriate in this case. So to be honest, I might even go for the Imp Masquerena. You know, that's not too bad of an option either. I mean, let's consider it like this, right? So you have here your Imp Masquerena instead of the Regilex, and instead of searching for the Maximus, you could have searched out anything else, more so like as fodder. So let's just say a Leonis in this case. And you would basically have Leonis and Imp Masquerena as a potential build-up towards going into your, let's see, where is it? Your Unicorn over here, and that could potentially disrupt an opponent as well. And of course you still have the Cyclone. So that's again 2 disruptions in a certain sense, but this time you're bringing out a stronger monster. So it's an alternative to the previous thing, but in this case the same thing applies. Now, there is another alternative. So we'll add the Leonis like normal, of course, but instead of going for the Imp Masquerena, with these 2 cards, you could this time go into your Lib, because the amazing thing is you do technically have the World Legacy World Crown in the graveyard. So that does make things quite interesting there, though. No, that would actually have to be in the graveyard first. That would be a rolling issue, but with that being said, you could see that obviously going first is not necessarily the most ideal thing. You're at best getting 2 disruptions, and they're not really that significant either. So let's just continue on as if it was a normal play anyway. So this was the 6th card in our hand. wow, that is actually a parallel exceed. That would have changed everything. We wouldn't even have to go for this. So let's imagine it as before. How did we do this? We would have normal summoned out Taboria, linked into your Magius, and this would have just triggered off your parallel exceed, summoning it out. Of course, the Magius can then allow you to add. So you would be adding your Maximus, and of course with your parallel exceed you would be summoning out another one from your deck. So in this case we are going second because we now have the 6th card, and from that you would build up of course and go into your Regilex like normal, and of course with the Regilex you would summon out your World Crown, which is obviously fantastic as well. But yeah, with World Crown there, you can then take your Regilex and search out. So in this case, what do you want to search out? Well, you have to think, what does your opponent actually have in this particular case? You have a Kaiju, so that could potentially disrupt your opponent. Make sure you just put it underneath a link zone, or an extra monster zone is linking to it, so that would be great there. But with that being said, we have here Cosmic Cyclone potentially getting rid of back row. We already have Testaments, so maybe we'll go for a Revival, allowing your monsters to attack every single monster out there. That would be fantastic, of course. So let me just search for that Revival, and of course you can finally just build up on your link plays there. So you take Regilex, and maybe you'll take the Parallel Exceed, because you could keep the World Crown on the board of course, and this will allow you to climb up into your Equimax, which would be pointing to your Kaiju of course, which would be, so I'm just going to move it down to show some space here. So that would be 3300, this would be in the middle zone. Equimax is pointing to this as well, that's 2000. You would also activate Revival, allowing your Equimax to attack everything, and you would summon out your Maximus here right next to Equimax, which would again boost up. So you have 33 plus the 600 plus the 2000, which is significantly huge of course. That's 5900 points added on to the 2000 here, which would be 79, and then of course you get double the damage dealt as well to your opponent, plus the fact that Revival allows you to attack everything. Cyclone disrupt something. It's just all so amazing, and even this can negate as well of course, you know, if you needed to. After you attack, Testament activates, allowing you to then draw 3 cards. Just absolutely amazing. I mean, this is a great start, but of course this is for going second. It's just so much more significant. This is pretty much a guaranteed OTK, whereas when we went first we were only able to go into 2 potential scenarios where we got at best 2 disruptions that were pretty insignificant. Alright, so here's another circumstance I guess, in terms of an opening hand going first. So firstly, you could go with Cosmic Cyclone, potentially acting as its own disruption, which is great in some sort of way. If you're going second, it's back row removal. I'll take the top card and put it there, since that's the potential 6th card of the actual zone there for our turn 2 players. But we do have actually some working cards to actually work with in this particular circumstance, so it's not the worst thing. Though my issue is we have to summon out one of these. I guess that's fine. We'll summon out the Leonis of course, link that away, allowing us to go for Magius. Luckily this time we do have Instant Fusion, allowing us to go up into our Millennium Eyes. So let's say your opponent was to try and negate this, well, activate an effect, then you have this to negate. You can obviously search out, allowing you to get into one of your Crusadia monsters. So in this particular case, it could be anything really. Draco is also an option. Link these 2 away, allowing us to go for Regilex. And of course that allows us to summon out the Draco, which will allow us to then summon out something else as well, or add a particular spell or trap. I mean, we have Crusadia power already. Maybe you could add Testaments, that's not bad of an option. You Could also add revival, that is also an option as well. But that's pretty much it. You don't really want to go into anything else. Maybe you could try to go into a further link climb into your Equimax. Not the worst thing in the world. And then you set these 3 here. It's honestly not that bad, though I'll probably keep the Testament in the hand, just in case of course. But we have your Crusadia Power, which technically will protect your Equimax in some sort of way, and you have Cosmic Cyclone, which is a bit of a disruption. I will also keep the Maximus in hand as well, but as you can see there, it's not much of a play. It's pretty lackluster. You could, instead of going for Regalex, also go into the It Masquerena like always, and just sit on that together with the Draco and potentially link climb into that Unicorn again, but that's the same play together with the Cosmic Cyclone, so at best that's 2 disruptions. So it really depends on what you want to go for here, but let's try and reverse things again. So let's put back everything. So put back the Testament, instead of that, instead of Regalex, instead of all of these of course. Draco was searched, Instant Fusion was in hand, Leonis was in hand. That was the legendary 6th card of the deck, so let's see what it was. It was a Gamma Seal, which is very nice because pretty much with that, we can now go for the OTK as always. Potentially getting rid of back row, that's great of course. Summoning out this. You pretty much go into everything as always, so Magius, and then you summon out to this of course, allowing you to search out your monsters. So in this case, I'd be getting my Draco like always. Link these 2 away of course, allowing you to go for Regalex, with the Draco together allowing us to go for Equimax and searching out a spell. In this case, instead of going for the Testament, you could just go for your Revival as always. So where is Revival? Over here. And of course, with that being said, you could summon out your Maximus right over here, and also Kaiju, one of your opponent's monsters, and you'll do the same thing, but this time you have the protection of the Crusadia Power as well. You can attack everything, and you also have here the Maximus being allowing you to pretty much double your damage. So again, that's another OTK, absolutely fantastic. But I actually am pretty impressed as well with the going first turn plays. I mean, I did say that it was kind of lackluster, but to still produce a minimum of 2 disruptions, imagine if this deck was actually built in a balanced version, where you could actually just go first as well. This deck could potentially be really good. I mean, in that particular sense, it might skew the purity of this deck, but I do believe things would actually work out differently, so I'm definitely keen to do some experimentation on that. However, I do believe this particular video has definitely gone on very long because I did do both explanations for going first and second as a potential opening hand here, and that's the unique thing with this particular deck. You could try out both ways through testing either way, so long as you could keep following the cards and then reversing the plays again. However, with that being said, I definitely want to do at least one more video to showcase a bit more, since we only did 2 opening hands in this particular video. But with that being said, let me know what your thoughts are on this. What would you do differently? Is there anything you could potentially do going first with each of these opening hands? If so, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, thanks for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'll see you all next time.